Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Insights Now, Webinars Now episode. We are today talking about global health and wellness behavior, and we're going to be talking about a piece of research, a couple pieces of research we did pre and post COVID, and we're going to be looking at the impact of COVID on health and wellness seeking behaviors today. All right, I'm Greg Stuckey. I'm the Chief Research Officer at Insights Now and have the pleasure of getting to focus on building out wonderful behavioral solutions and helping companies strive towards new product success by showing them ways to impact consumer behavior for their products. And with me is Jacqueline today.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Lapoma. I'm a Research Director at Insights Now. I have been with Insights Now for over 3 years, and prior to this, I was at a CPG company for 10 years.
All right.
A couple of housekeeping notes to get us started. You can enter questions into the sidebar question box at any time. If you experience any technical issues, let us know in the question box and we will try to help you. And last, this webinar will have interactive parts. We hope you participate with us.
Absolutely, thank you. And really, to get us started, right, we are in an unprecedented time of disruption. We have, with COVID, a different type of disruption than we've had on a global scale in a long time. So there have been a lot of other global level disruptions, but none have happened when we've had this level of immediacy of visibility to what's happening around the globe. It's also obviously one with a very intense emotional impact, some very radical forced changes in behaviors and forced disruptions of everybody's habits with all of the lock-in and shutdowns, dramatic business impacts, of course, complete rebalancing of priorities. And this is one of the things that I think a lot of people overlook when it comes to major disruptions like this, is that our priorities, what motivates us to make the decisions we make, shift. It's not that we have brand new ones necessarily, it's just that the prioritization that we're putting against how we make decisions is changing. And health and wellness being at the absolute center of this specific disruption is really what's happening is it's changing our fundamental need for safety. So something that we often overlook or take for granted now has become a much higher priority, and we are much, much more aware when we look at our health and wellness decisions and the products we buy as to how that safety impacts our lives or could impact our life. So we're going to be talking about a piece of research that we did that was an international health and wellness survey. The first round of this research was done in October of 2019, 1,300 primary shoppers in 10 countries around the world. We repeated the exact same study in early April 2020, and that was with 1,500 shoppers in the same 10 countries. The survey covered a lot of areas: claims, benefits, trust, plant-based, sustainability. Today, we're really going to focus in on the first two, claims and benefits. And we're going to look at how how COVID changed our prioritization of the types of claims that mattered, as well as the types of benefits that mattered. We're also going to be looking at a few other things like China and some of the things, because they're a little ahead of the rest of the world in terms of some of the relaxation rules. So we're going to look at what's happening there and see if there's any opportunities for us around the rest of the world. So just to give everybody a reminder of when this research is happening and what the scope is, the first piece of research was in October, that was in 19, that was before anybody really was talking about COVID at all. That didn't really start happening until December. The second one was done the first part of April. So if you're a numbers person, that's the month 4. And you can notice here that everybody essentially was in lockdown. Turkey was just going into lockdown at the time when this was implemented. And then China had already reopened about 3 weeks before, about 2.5 to 3 weeks before the start of this particular second questionnaire. So we'll see some key differences there in China. Now, all of this is also under the auspice, and we're going to have some really cool learnings here, but all of this is under the auspice of this is a serious issue, and we shouldn't take that lightly. Yeah, we're going to be presenting some good business opportunities here, but at the same time, we're looking at this from the vantage point of all humans need to be taken care of. So yes, it's crazy out there. Keep calm, carry on. But how do we move forward? How do we do the best by people? One of the ways we do the best by people is looking at what motivates them, what drives them, what their concerns are, what's heightened, and how can we help them? So we're going to go through 4 learnings. The first one we're going to talk about is that people who are avoiding specific ingredients prior to COVID, they're still avoiding them. So the impact of COVID is very minimal on those groups of people. And one of the ways we measure this is by looking at a group we call clean label enthusiasts. Clean label enthusiasts are people who are really focused on ingredients in the foods and beverages that they buy. They're really concerned about too many chemicals in foods or avoiding artificial ingredients. They're spending time looking up information about ingredients, so they actually do spend time going out and reading about ingredients and whether they're good, whether they're bad, what people think about them. And they avoid buying brands where there's ingredients that they're also avoiding. So if they hear about a brand that's using an ingredient that they really disagree with or are trying to avoid, that they feel is, quote, unhealthy, then they will avoid that brand altogether, even if some of the products in their lines are don't include that ingredient. So we want to take a look. We're going to run a little poll here, and we want to know which of the following are true for you. So go ahead and take a look at this screen and identify which of these are true for you. You know, are you the kind of person that likes to read ingredients, look up nutrition facts? Are you the kind of person that, avoids buying brands? Which are the types of characteristics of clean label enthusiasts that do you personally also have? Now, while we're waiting for everybody to put their responses in, one of the things that we'll tell you is we do have an algorithm, a typing tool to type clean label enthusiasts. It's not this easy. We don't get to just ask them these questions. However, I think it's a fun way to look at this because it helps us understand and personalize, well, do I follow different traits? And it'll help you understand some of the information that we're going to show here. So I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. I know there's a few of you still clicking through, but we're going to keep it going here, and I'm going to share this out. So what have we got? Looks like, yes, 78% of people read the nutritional facts. That's pretty solid. That's actually pretty high, considering 56% avoiding brands. That's probably one of the highest I've seen. Not very many people looking up information online, but half of people reading the ingredients on labels. So we definitely have a group of people here that's a little more skewed because in the US, let me hide this and get going. In the US, the percent of clean label enthusiasts is at 28, was prior to COVID, was at 28%. So about not quite a third of the population. So it seems we've got a little bit more exciting people. And around the world, this split into 2 basic big patterns where you see the Canada, US, UK, Germany, France, all in the, a quarter to a third of the population, and then Mexico, Brazil, Turkey, India, and China, all at nearly half the population being people who would classify in as clean label enthusiasts. Now, if we jump ahead to April, post-COVID here, or during, actually not really post, it's during COVID, but post-lockdown, what we see is the distribution is by and large the same. Now, not really showing differences here, but the vast majority of the numbers you can see in orange, we're still about half. In black, we're still about a quarter to a third. Now, the US and Canada are consistently growing, and we are seeing that. 2 years ago, the US was at 17%. We're all the way up to 32% now, 2.5 years later. So it's consistently growing in terms of percentage of people who are clean label enthusiasts, hence why we have such a big trend around ingredient-oriented food focus, functional ingredients, et cetera, so forth. So what is the conclusion here is that people are avoiding ingredients, still avoiding them. So one of the things we thought it'd be fun to look at is some of the ingredients that people are actually excited about and some of them that they're still avoiding. And this is information just from the United States, looking at a clean label score, which is an implicit score when they see that ingredient. Do they believe that it's associated with a clean label or not a clean label product? And I just pulled up sweeteners and pulled up the top 10 sweeteners that people do associate it with clean labels. So if they see honey, they think that's clean. If they see banana puree, they think that's clean. On the opposite side, all the way at the bottom, if they see aspartame on the package, they assume it's not a clean label product. So if you are still in the process of transforming your products, transforming your ingredients, or building brand new clean label products, take a look at some of these ingredients in the areas that you're focusing on, find out what's going to work best, add some creativity to your process by considering alternative sweeteners and other types of ingredients as well. So Jacqueline, I don't know about you, are there any ingredients that you avoid?
Yeah, I actually avoid natural flavors in my sparkling water, or sorry, I personally look for natural flavors in my sparkling
Right.
water and whole grains for my toast, and I avoid nitrates. And honestly, I'm not even sure why I do that. It's just something that I feel is bad.
Well, and that's the beauty of the implicit, right? So, and that's why we like to look at implicit scores, because we don't know necessarily why people, and we don't know that they care about the science one way or the other. It's something that's an intuitive, habitual connection, right? It's that instantaneous implicit cue. If they see it, they avoid it. We want to make sure that we're not putting on the package things that are causing people to overlook our products and brands. And this is one way of getting there. So one nice thing about COVID is if you've been focused on ingredients, stay focused on them because they are still important. A lot of the reasons is, people fundamentally have this association of clean with health, ingredients with health, and COVID heightened their focus on health. So this is still super important for us. All right. So another way, thing that we found was that people are becoming much more focused on their own country and their own culture. Prior to COVID, what we saw was that if we look at the types of claims that people were excited about, if when you talked about products, like was it made with sustainable farming, does it have no artificial flavors, was it minimally processed, the types of claims that countries were excited about, the countries grouped together based on the percentage of clean label enthusiasts in them. So the countries with low percent of people who cared about ingredients tended to focus on the farming and the artificial, whereas in the countries with really high CLE, with high clean label focus, there was more focus on specific elements like no cholesterol, low calorie, low salt, high protein. Now, once COVID came along and we went into lockdown, this changed how this got distributed. So what we see is all the countries that were low still have very, very similar patterns. No artificial, minimally processed, simple, still is a primary focus and differentiates them from other countries. Mexico and Brazil, though, they pulled out on their own. Pure, gluten-free, and easy to prepare, much more focus, more important to them. Turkey by itself, low calorie, fresh, trans, fat-free, and natural. It's unique from other countries, much higher in those. India, no cholesterol, high protein, good source of fiber, low salt. And China, more unique than anybody, and potentially we'll talk about this a little more, but organic, sustainable packaging and sustainable farming, much more valued there post-COVID or post the lockdown. So we want to make sure as we go forward that we're focusing on specific cultures. So we've become much more centralized on our cultures. And this aligns a little bit with the diets people are doing. In Brazil, we see that people claiming to have a less processed diet went from 34 to 50, right? That aligns with their focus on pure. India, high protein, they're looking for high protein products, jumped from 50 to 62% of the population saying they're following a high protein diet. And in China, organic, people following an organic diet went from 44 to 55, again, aligning with some of the things that they're doing. So we're seeing a confluence of not just what they're doing from a claim standpoint and what they're looking for in products, but the types of diets that they're following as well.
Okay, so another thing we found was that Western and Eastern cultures are showing greater impact on the benefits people value. Prior to the pandemic, we did not find any strong cultural patterns for benefits associated with health and wellness. However, during the pandemic, we found that Eastern cultures were more associated with holistic benefits. We saw significant increases in promote muscle gain, vision health, quality sleep, healthy hair, healthy skin, and help stabilize mood. In contrast, we found that Western cultures wanted more specific benefits. We saw significant increases in increased energy, has anti-inflammatory properties, and a good source of vitamins and minerals. So what does this mean? We believe it's important to communicate benefits based on these cultural patterns. Make sure to communicate more specific benefits for Western cultures and more holistic benefits for Eastern cultures. Okay, so since China is further along in the pandemic, we were interested to see if there were any unique patterns that could potentially become global trends. So let's take a look at China. China was the only country that was open at the second time of the survey. And interesting, we saw double-digit growth in the number of Chinese consumers going on program weight loss diets after the lockdown, which we think this could become a global trend as more countries release from lockdown. I know I can personally attest to watching what I'm eating more now that my state is opening up.
Yeah, certainly. I think this is very true for a lot of us. We tease about the COVID-19 that we put on often with minimal movement, and I think that there is certainly evidence. It's not massive, right? 16% though is a pretty good jump. It's not 50, but it's a big enough size that it's definitely worth paying attention to.
So another thing we found that China was the only country with significant increases in avoidance due to environmental concerns. There were significant increases in avoiding specific ingredients that were believed to be not good for the environment and avoiding products made with non-sustainable packaging. This could possibly be due to the Chinese consumer getting out of lockdown and seeing the improvements to their environment, or possibly during lockdown they became more aware of their own personal consumption.
Yeah, and this one I think is the one that I'm most excited about because I think this is we've already had a big sustainable movement on the globe, but this is now heightening our focus, but heightening our focus in a new way. I think this is really exciting. So let's take another poll. I want to know a little bit more about whether you're concerned about the environment and sustainability. So take a look here. Are you just as concerned as you've ever been? Has COVID and seeing all the trash going through your house changed your opinion about your concern? Or maybe now you're a little bit less concerned than you were before. Maybe you have seen positive changes and your worry about the world has gone away. All right, so we've got quite a few of you. I'm going to close this out just to keep us going and share with you. And this is, I actually am a little surprised by this. I thought we would have a few people at least that were more concerned now than ever before. But looks like we have a very environmentally oriented group being all just as concerned as they ever have been. And one or two of you, or four of you, less concerned. So that's pretty good. All right.
So one of our CLE community members had a great quote that we wanted to share with you. They said that I hope people are more observant of the ways they can change their own life to reduce their footprint by working from home and staying in more.
And how else can we do this, right? How else can we think about sustainability and its value to the people, right? And their change of lifestyle. All right, so what do we got overall? Let's take a look at recapping. People are avoiding, who are avoiding specific ingredients before are still avoiding them. So what does that mean for us? Well, you should continue to pursue ingredient cleanup. Make your products more clean label. That's still a very strong, very fast, continues to be a very fast growing trend. Work on your free from ingredients. And then also carefully select your ingredients for your new innovations. Think about what's going to enhance those subconscious cues that the product is good for you, providing health and wellness oriented benefits. Second, people are becoming much more focused on their own culture and own country. So take time to focus on the local cultures. When you're launching internationally, take more time to focus on what's unique about that particular culture. It may be a communication of a claim, the way you communicate that enhances their desire for products. And it's also helpful to understand their dieting process. If they are going more organic, then communicating that is going to be more helpful in helping them achieve their own personal goals as well. So as we go into this new phase and we see all these people come into heightened awareness of their weight and want programmed weight loss diets, what types of diets are they going to go on? Help them focus and improve their life by helping them get what they need to help them lose weight and or make a healthier lifestyle.
We also saw that Western and Eastern cultures are showing greater impact on the benefits people value. So we recommend for Western cultures focusing on communicating and building out specific benefits and values that the product contains. For Eastern cultures, we recommend focusing on communicating and building out holistic benefits and how it will impact the person's overall health and wellness. And then in China, we saw changes in diet and sustainability may be indicating a change is ready to sweep the rest of the world. So we believe program diets are likely to get a significant bump in the next few weeks. Consider finding opportunities to communicate how your products contribute or fit into a program diet, with a focus on organic when possible. Since we are seeing that COVID is causing people to be concerned about sustainability, we feel there needs to be a shift in the way that sustainability is discussed, making it personal instead of focusing on the planet, which is impersonal.
Right, and that's the fun part about this, I think, is that we're hearing, especially here in the US from our clean label enthusiasts, that everybody's going to be willing to make a trade-off of a person over a planet at this point in time. So the planet and packaging by itself is not personalized, right? So people will, and helping keep people safe will always get priority over something like, is it good for the environment per se? So what we have to do to make this movement really take steam, and for any sustainability initiative that you have to really take hold in consumers' mind during this time, is to make sure you're tying it into how it keeps people safe, how it keeps people healthy, how it improves the people who are doing the work, to mine the products, all or the ingredients, et cetera, so forth. So find ways to communicate about the value that you're bringing to the people, and that will in turn result in a healthier planet. All right, so we've got little time for questions here, and we've already got one coming in. It's on sustainability, so we'll take that first one. So question is, do we see health and hygiene replacing sustainability in the post-COVID environment? That's a really good question. What we've seen so far is that with regard to sustainability, and this is coming actually from a study we did here in the US on cleaners, where we were asking, people who bought environmentally friendly cleaners, are you going away from them and why? They said that there was about a third of the people that stopped buying their environmentally friendly cleaners, and they were fearful that they didn't kill the virus, right? That they weren't all the way up at that upper echelon of making you completely safe. And I think that fear is something that, as the fear of COVID dwindles down over the next few years, that will come back. However, of those people that said they are buying something else, only 65% said that they're going to go back to environmentally friendly. So that fear is, going to grab about 10%, maybe 15% of the population pretty heavily. So health and hygiene replacing sustainability. If sustainability is focused solely on, hey, this is recyclable, you bet it will, that you're gonna miss the mark. But if that recyclability comes back, or you can tie it back into a way that says this is safer and healthier for you, improves the hygiene within your house, if you will, maybe taking hygiene in a little different amount, then absolutely, you have an opportunity then for sustainability to integrate with what people need. Okay. Let's see, any other questions? I'm not seeing a whole lot. We don't have a very talkative group today. All right, well, Jacqueline, any other key points that you would like to make or any final conclusions?
No, I think this was a great discussion.
Absolutely. Well, we have a lot more information than what we shared just today. We're going to be sharing some of this information at our upcoming IFT conference presentation. IFT is all virtual this year, so that's the Institute of Food Technologists, and that's happening in July. We will have a session on global design of clean label foods, and myself, Sarah Kirkmeyer from Insights Now, Mimi Sherlock from IFF, and Webb Gerard from Culinex will all be talking, and in that talk we're going to be specifically drilling down into some research we did on indulgent products in the country of Turkey. So this will be a really exciting one because we'll share some of this information and make it really practical, saying, well, how do we take that information and then go and build products, and how do we then transform products once we understand what's happening with COVID in Turkey, or transform the concepts for products into new ingredients that would help promote those products as fitting those healthier lifestyles that people were looking for. So it'll be a great case study that we sequence through. And so if you're interested, certainly go to IFT. They made it pretty inexpensive to attend the conference this year with over 900 sessions are going to be presented at IFT virtually this year, so it'll be pretty good. So I invite you to join. If you join, definitely come take a look at our global design of clean label foods. We also run a tracker here in the United States with our clean label enthusiasts. This is available on our website. We post new information, new research every week, covers a wide range of COVID-related topics, from shopping and shopping emotions all the way through to things like sustainability and the environment. This week we were just posting work on supplements and immunity and perceptions there. So we've got more information coming up on restaurants in the next few weeks. So take a look, jump on the website, sign up there. You'll get in regular emails when we update new information, but updates and new research data points come out about once a week there. All right, fantastic. Well, thank you all for your time today. Really appreciate it, and hope you had an opportunity to see a couple of the things that are changing because of COVID.